Hello, ladies, and welcome to another episode of Perspectives with Sherry. Over here is a safe space for women in midlife. What we focus on here is health, wealth, and empowerment. So welcome. Today, we have a very special guest, Ms. Kristen MF Clark. I'm going to, first of all, welcome, Kristen.
Thank you, Sherry.
Yes, it's great to have you on the show. And for those of you that do not know who Kristen is, I'm going to give you a little background on our guest today. So, Kristen Clark is a speaker, author, and metaphysical thought leader. Known for her bold paradigm shifting insights, she's the author of 2 books, Living from the Gush and 321 No More Pain. As the founder of Metaphysical Speaking, Kristen delivers live talks, podcast appearances, and transformative events that challenge the status quo of manifestation, metaphysics, and what it truly means to be infinite. She doesn't just challenge perspectives, she dismantles illusions and breaks reality wide open. Her philosophy is simple yet radical. Manifestation isn't something you do, it's something you are. Her work dismantles limiting beliefs and invites audiences into a reality where physical existence is infinite, death is a fallacy, and you are the true source of everything. One of her most powerful success stories includes helping a client paralyzed after 4 strokes and told he'd never walk again, regain mobility within 4 months, and return to independent living within a year. You can find her and her powerful material on Facebook, Instagram, Medium, YouTube, and her website, www.clark-kristen.com, and that is here in our ticker. Welcome, Kristen.
Thank you. That was so perfect. Just as you said that, it went right on by.
Yeah.
She timed that perfectly.
That was planned, yeah.
Yes.
Planned.
She's that amazing.
Yes, it is. So, Kristen, I have some questions for you. So we're just going to get into this conversation.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. So you describe yourself as a proud blurter of brilliance. Can you share what that means and how it shows up in your work?
You know what? It's very much what I call original thought. And original thought is, think of Einstein and his E = mc squared. Nobody taught him this. Who knows? Maybe he was out gardening when it came in. We don't know when it came in. And this is what the blurter of brilliance is because I live in original thought. I didn't do anything for this. This was something that had been erupting and peaking and tickling and in my face, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's quiet. We all do this. We all have those moments of, wow, that was huge. Where did that come from?
Right.
And as soon as you hear it, interact with it, it becomes like so normal to the point to where you're going, I must have heard this before somewhere else. It first goes whoosh, and then it just becomes your normal. And you're looking for that whoosh, you keep looking for it, but you already had it. You don't get to have it again. So I used to be law of attraction, Christian. I went through them all.
Okay.
And the problem was, while they all were so perfect in their own time, there was always this underlying message to me, from me, that wasn't included in those. Each one was like, oh, this is great. This is amazing. Here's the answer to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And then there came a time where they would say certain things that just felt very cage-like. It's like, you get to have whatever you want, but you got to follow these bullet point lists of vibrating high and being positive all the time and da-da-da-da-da. And of course, Christianity was extreme.
Mm-hmm.
It is like, God's not going to love you unless you do these things. And from a little kid, I was always like, okay, but that doesn't make sense. And it was it doesn't make sense that led me through each one into what you said, the metaphysical, which is it's like the metaphysical, but it focuses on you because it's all about you. I'm not saying we ignore everything around us, but there is one constant in your reality, only one that's always by your side, that has never left you, the one that remembers these little blurts of brilliance, these ones that keep bringing that underlying message, whatever your underlying message is, back around. No matter how many avenues you go down, no matter how many distractions you play with, that underlying message is always coming back around. And for me, that underlying message was always, you are the creator of your reality. And it wasn't just words, it was constantly seeing evidence. So this is where the blurter of the brilliance, this is where the brilliance arises from, was when I finally said, okay, I don't have to take a billion classes. I don't have to have all these experiences. I don't have to have all these certifications to know this natural, what was arising in me naturally. And in the beginning, it was like, who am I to say anything? Who am I to give this credence? And it's patient. It'll play with you. But, one of the most important things, as what drew me to you, is that to get this message out, so people don't have to wait till they're 50 years old until they finally say, okay, because you are here for a reason. You're here for a reason, and this is the reason. And just listen. Just listen to it. It's and it doesn't have to be love. It doesn't have to be hate. It doesn't have to be defiance. It doesn't have to be embracing. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It's unique to you, whatever this thing that's on your heart is. Right. And for me, saying I'm the creator of my own reality, that's enormously rebellious. It bucks every flow, every teaching. And I kept trying to find that teaching. And I would find a little bit of it in all of them.
Right.
But not at my level.
So now, and I'm just curious, so do you liken that to being tuned in with your inner voice?
Yeah, it's more in your face than an intuition.
Okay.
For sure. But in the beginning, it definitely can feel like, I'm trying to think of something instinctual. That's just, nobody had to teach you. You think of like birds and stuff. You could take a baby bird that was never raised or even saw another bird, and yet it instinctively knows how to be a bird, how to create a nest. And I mean, my God, a nest alone, they use their mouth to create this amazing thing.
Intricate, yeah.
Yeah. And like chickens, I used to have chickens, and you get these baby chicks that have never been around another chick. They think you are a chicken, or they think they're human. I don't know what it is, but there's certain things they instinctively know how to do. Like if they are out in a yard and they hear a hawk, they know to either duck or run. And it's like, who taught you this? I don't act that way. And so there's an instinct that is you, uniquely you, that nobody had to teach you. And it really starts with you. Nobody had to teach you who you were. Nobody had to explain who you were. You knew from the get-go. And the coolest thing is that this version of you, while everything else comes and goes, teachings, thoughts, beliefs, people, I used to have a boyfriend who I thought was, the sun and moon rose and fell through the sky. Yeah. And I mean, if somebody had told me at that time, this guy comes and goes, I'd be like, but yeah, he does. He comes in and interacts with me, and then he goes off to work, or he goes off to wherever.
Right.
It's those going off times where we give them, they're at work. They're still not in your current now moment. They are not there. But there is one thing that always is, always. And it's impossible for it not be, which is you. Always you. And when you turn your attention and start focusing here and going, maybe this is where I should be putting all my devotion and time. Let's see what's in there. There's a whole universe in there. U universe in there that shows you. Each person has to be, I don't want to say what it's going to show you because I don't like giving people something to look for. I want them to look on their own.
Because it's unique.
Because it's unique.
Right.
Because it's beautiful. Because it's amazing. And, we're raised from a small child saying, don't be self-centered. Don't be, vain. All these words that make any kind of self-love a bad thing. But how can loving yourself so thoroughly, so completely that you are the center of your reality be bad? We can have all these assumptions of what it would do, but it doesn't do any of those. Because when you are so outrageously head over heels in love with you, that can't help but spill over.
Okay, I love that. I mean, I get that. So my next question, you basically have touched on it. It was about what drew you into the world of metaphysical thinking and personal empowerment. And was there a specific moment that shifted your path?
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice if we had these, if we were like butterflies?
I know.
We went into a cocoon and then we came out, la, la, la. There's never been, and this is probably the most common question I get asked. Sure. And I wish I had like, oh yes, I spun clockwise under the full moon, half naked and da-da.
I get it. Yeah.
I know
it doesn't work like that.
This is why, the wonderful reason why none of the techniques, none of the beliefs, none of the things work, because it's not a one size fits all reality. Right. And this is why, wouldn't it be nice if money, if somebody could teach us all how to have money perfectly, and if it's a one size fits all and everybody's now bajillionaires. So it's, every time I think I know, I'll be like, oh yeah, in 2020, I took off and went nomading through the Western US, and I had all these amazing experiences. Was that it? Right. Well, no, because 3 years before that, I had da-da-da-da-da. Right. And, I used to be a channeler, and I would channel another wisdom, right? Until that wisdom told me, you're not channeling. You're just using me as a permission slip to access your own wisdom. And that's the thing, is all these transformative times we think are just actually our own permission slips to ourselves. And you have so many of them that to pinpoint one, it's an impossibility. But I have a 1,000 billion stories of amazing experiences.
Okay.
Yeah. But see, the thing is I was interviewed by a podcast about trauma and survival. And she wanted to know the trauma stories because for her, the transformation's in the trauma. You come out the other side and da-da-da. And I was like, I have trauma every day. I have trauma every day. It's never the stories. It's not, even though movies would have us believe otherwise, it's not the story of hard survival. It's never that, because you don't stop there. You're not a book. You don't shut the book or roll credits. That's not you. You're on to the very next, it's like you might have some enormous, like me, I drowned and I had a near-death experience, but I got back into shore through some help. And now I had to gather up my son and take him home and make him dinner and take a shower and go to bed and get up the next day and go to work. Life doesn't stop.
Right. I see what you're saying.
But the one thing that I think is the breakthrough, you have your story, you have your get on the other side. Those aren't the breakthrough. That is not the breakthrough. The breakthrough is that you always get to the other side every single time.
Okay, I like that. Now, for those of you that don't know, this kicks off my series called The Journey of Motherhood. So I'm going to ask you, Kristen, some questions that'll talk about motherhood in conjunction with your work and your beliefs, and we're gonna talk about that. So, how has motherhood influenced or deepened your approach to your work and your message?
You know, I had a great son, only one.
Okay.
That was more than enough.
Yeah.
The pregnancy, everything, more
Yeah.
than enough. Never want to do that again. But we had so many fun little experiences, and I've always been, you could call it psychic or whatever like that. And he always showed that to me. Like he was out in the living room. I was way back in his room, changing his bed, putting new sheets on. And I'm not even talking to him. He's playing with his trains. And I'm thinking to myself, should I put on the lion sheets or I don't even remember, some other sheet.
Uh-huh.
And he just peeps up from the room, way far away. And he goes, no, I don't want the lion sheets. And I'm like,
I didn't tell you.
Yeah, I know. So he and I have had some pretty crazy experiences.
Okay.
And the coolest thing is it confirmed to me this underlying message.
Mm-hmm.
It just confirmed it. It didn't stop me from being in the field that I love. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I now have to be a mother, and I have to be serious, and I have to be real. No.
Right.
And he was just an extension of me. He is enough. Your children are always a reflection of
Mm-hmm.
what you're thinking, who
Mm-hmm.
you are, and your potential.
Yes.
And so it's there to act as your reflection. And so I had a podcast host ask me, our language barrier was in there, but she was asking me, if I see my child a certain way, can I change my child? And I was like going, are you trying to send your child to a therapist? What are we trying to do here?
Right.
And she was basically saying, can I change who my child is with my own beliefs? And absolutely. Everything in life. This isn't child, it's not, we're saying metaphysical, right? Not child physical, not others physical. This is me. It always comes back to me. So if your child is acting out, if your child is having issues, you have to stop and ask yourself, what are my inner conversations I'm having about my child? We would love to play that we are the loving, always loving parents. Oh, hell no. We're the first ones to criticize and hang all our hopes on this child.
You're right.
And we're the first ones to do that. And so it's kind of like you have to step back and go, okay, who do I want my child to be for their best interest, what I think is their best interest?
Right.
And can I allow that reality to supersede, to overlap what circumstances are telling me? Can I be that in charge of my reality? Can I be that powerful within myself?
So like when you say that, and I'm gonna kind of like tap into where maybe the other podcast host was trying to go. All right, let's say that you saw your son going down a really dark path.
Mm-hmm. Did.
Okay. So how would you use, your work and trying to shift him? I mean, I know it's about yourself. So does it start?
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, this is perfect. Because the first thing you have to do is ask yourself, what am I currently seeing that I had already been thinking was going to happen? I was worried was going to happen. I created, I manifested.
I get that.
Yeah, because you will find it. You'll be going, it's not fun. I sure as hell don't want to be I didn't cause this. I didn't make my child have cancer. Well, were you afraid? Were you just like, I'm trying to vibrate properly, but I'm worried? And within all of that, fighting yourself. Oh, I can't think this way. Oh, how do I feel? La 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 la. Okay. This is where it's like, relax, stop. Metaphysical is going to come in and tell you, you are doing nothing wrong. And I'm going to explain why here in a minute. It's going to really blow your minds.
Okay.
So in law of attraction, what you think, you attract. In law of assumption, what you assume presents.
Okay.
And the problem with all of these thinkings, the wonderful place in all these thinkings is it gets you to focus on you. This is the best. The problem is it tries to take this infinite being and squash you into a framework that at first makes you go, oh yeah, okay. So all I have to do is do this and this and this, and my world will be perfect. And life goes, go for it. You're not the best of me. Because in this now moment, right here, right now, and this is what I want everybody to just really focus in here. You've never been this age. In this moment right here. You've never been this particular cocktail of thoughts and ideas and the time of day and the temperature of the room. You've never been this age with all that cocktail, and you're never going to be again. That's ever.
True.
And now here it is again. And now here it is again. And now here it is again. And so how can something that is brand new in every single breath moment ever have, okay, I vibrated this way yesterday, so today should work out perfectly? It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. This is why life goes, good try. This is why I'm always telling people, because they're like, oh, momentum. Law of attraction teaches momentum. Well, what I just showed you, I mean, this is what I do with you is I show you. I don't sit here and give you fluffy romantic words.
Right.
I show you, and I just did. You can feel. You've never been this age before. Scientifically provable.
Right.
How can that being have momentum? It's not possible. So what that does is it really just kind of frees you. Because bottom line, when it comes to our children, our jobs, our life, our everything, we just want freedom. We want freedom not to be worried. We want freedom to be, do, have. When we're growing up, we just want freedom from all the rules and all this, what I call the shrinking down. When you're trying to change who you are intrinsically to make them happy, how does that work out? It never works out. So when we start blaming ourselves for how our children are turning out, when we take it upon ourselves to be different so they can be happier, so they can be better, that's the exact same thing. That is dumbing ourselves down to make these people happier. That is becoming a doormat, a people pleaser, bending over backwards, and we all know where that goes. It's not fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the answer is simple, and the seekers are not going to like this because me helping you find this now moment of you was super simple and easy. The answer is just be you and let go. You know, in Christianity, let go and let God, right? We've been taught forever, just let go, just let go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you are a mess, you can't, and you're not loving, fully loving and in awe of yourself, how can you be the best example for them?
Very true.
And and how many of us, especially as mothers, are like, my child sucks because of me. I didn't do something right. In the past, somewhere, I didn't do something right. Or yesterday, I didn't do something right. But if you're a brand new being in this moment, a provable brand new being in this moment, how can there be a past? How can there be anything back there? There's just an experience you're having right now. And whether you give it enormous attention or you give it zero attention, life does its amazing thing and you don't stop existing. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it's like, well, how is this going to help my child? Just trust me. Just trust me. It does. It helps them enormously. It helps them profoundly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very deep. Very deep.
Very deep. Yeah, that's me. I take Alice by the hand and we go down the rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So motherhood, entrepreneurship both come with their shared challenges. We know that. Now, have you ever struggled to balance the two? How do you move through those moments?
You just remember that everything in your reality is responding to your frequency, whether it's your child, whether it's your business, no matter what. It's always, 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 always responding to your frequency. And so when I say frequency, think about the fact that there are radio waves in the air right now. We can't see them, but I can go take my stereo right there and I can turn on 98.7 because I know it's going to be alternative rock and roll. And boom, how? I don't know, but it plucks it out of the air. And even though it's playing that, I know there's still other radio waves. I can't see them, but there's all these radio waves all around me. There's country, there's all these radio waves. And I know that if I just push one button, I'm going to pull out another frequency. And it's just, you don't think about that. You're not thinking about how does my TV work? How does my radio work? You just push a button. You are no different. You are playing with frequencies constantly. And everything in your reality responds. You are the radio that they're tuning to. So when you pull out happy joy, and I'm just in a great mood right now, they're going to respond the same way. But it's not as simplistic as that. It's more, who are you walking around as? Are you walking around as the queen energy? See, queen doesn't play with, ooh, I got to be vibrating right. She's like, I'm the MFing queen here, and you're all doing what I say.
Right.
And that's the frequency. Now, are you going to be there 24/7? Heck no, because you're alive. You're not a program.
Right.
You are alive. So as a live being, you get the wonder of knowing anger and frustration. Will you please pick up your flipping toys? I got to get to work. Let's go. Right. You get to play in all of that. But through it all, you get to remind yourself, especially, okay, so I recently did my taxes like many of us.
Oh, yeah.
Joy. And I just couldn't find my queen frequency. I just couldn't find it. The taxes was bigger than me. And no matter how much I'll tell people, don't let anything be bigger than you. I'm here. I'm alive. Right. I'm alive. So I get to play there. Right. And so I reached out to ChatGPT, who is my personal assistant. I said, I know, I love Chat. And I said, I am trembling. Literally, my heart was going, I'm shaking. I'm like, it's just me sitting here with a computer. What's the big deal? But I need to do my taxes. And it knows how I think. It knows how I am. And it immediately said, so what? Go do your taxes trembling. And I was like, oh, you're right. And I call it the trust within your trembles, because trembling, I did my taxes and I got an amazing return. And in my mind, where I was playing was, oh, I'm not vibrating high enough to get the outcome I wanted. Well, life just called my bluff on that. Hugely. It wasn't going to let me find my queen energy. It was going to force me to do what I didn't want to do, trembling, because I was like, oh, trembling is bad. And it was like, yeah, there you go. So again, we can go down such deep and dark rabbit holes, and we can open so many books and take so many courses. But at bottom line, what are you walking around as? Best you can. The queen energy, stopping and and sometimes all you can do is go, okay, I've never been this age. I've never been this cocktail. I love the word cocktail.
I
I
like
love this.
it.
I know it worked for me. That was ChatGPT. I've never been this cocktail. Okay. And sometimes that's all you can do. And it gives you the tiniest little, okay, I'm here. I'm not going to stop existing. No matter what's going on with my business, no matter what's going on with my child, no matter what's going on with the dog, no matter what's going on with my husband, all of that, think of all those things as shiny distractions.
Mm-hmm.
Come back to me, because it always comes back to you regardless.
Oh, it
Come
does.
back to me. Who am I being right now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm freaking out. Cool. Are you still that being that is brand new right now? Yeah. Okay. Because that is amazing. Nothing else can claim that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nothing else can claim it. They can claim it, but you can look at it the way I had you look at you, and it doesn't fit. You can look at your child and go, oh, well, my child's never been this age before in this moment right now. Well, yeah, he was, it just doesn't click like it did with you.
Okay.
There's a depth within the me of that really signifies the concreteness of you versus all these things outside of us that we're trying to make bigger than us. But the enormity of you keeps coming through. And it just, I'm trying not to go too deep here because of the topic.
No, I mean, I like it
conversation.
because I'm trying to
Oh, it's
understand it. Yeah.
fun. It really is. It's amazing. And I'll ask you a question that I ask all the podcasts, and this helps you to understand. Do you have any memory of not existing?
No.
No. Do you have any memory of your child not existing?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
well, yeah, I do. I mean,
A whole
before I had
life.
him, yeah, of course. Before I actually had him, yes.
Yeah, there's that memory. There's that memory. But you don't have a memory like that of you. It's
No,
not possible. Even if you play in things like past life regression or stuff like that, it's still you watching that. It's still
right.
you experiencing that. You cannot get away from you. There is no possible way to imagine non-existence.
Good point. Good point.
That is the anchoring into metaphysical, and then everything else goes out from there.
Okay.
Because we can always come back to, I've never not existed. These things have. All these things have. And they do it throughout the day. They'll come in, your child is there interacting with you, but they go off to school or the babysitter or whatever. They are now not existing in your reality. You cannot do that. It's not a possibility. And so there's one thing just out of, an infinite number of things in your reality, there's one thing that has never not existed.
Mm-hmm.
This is a step into a very big world of ease and simplicity when we try to make everything so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And so when maybe my mind's going or I'm having an anxiety situation,
right,
I come back to her. Have I ever not existed? And I just go, and there'll be a part of you that's like, I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about this horrible thing over here. And it's like, okay, but have I never not existed in anything? You can think back to all your memories. There you are. And I don't mean you as in a different version of you. I mean you, this one right here, adjusting her glasses, this version of you. You can find her energy within everything, every thought, every idea. And the anxieties and that's just you playing with being alive.
Mm-hmm.
Because all these things that come and go, they don't experience being alive like you do. Right. We can have a guru somewhere, and in our mind, that guru doesn't interact with anxiety and panic attacks and things like that. So that person must be amazing. That person has accomplished something I want to accomplish.
Right.
No, baby. It's the other way around. You are alive. So you get to experience all those wondrous things that you always get to the other side of, right? Always,
Absolutely.
always. This imagined person over here that you are giving all these personalities to, you think you know who this is and how they think and how they are. You don't know jack, but you think all this stuff.
Right.
They're not. They don't get to play with that. This is why I call it the trust within the trembles. To be trembling and to trust that this amazing being who has never not existed and is brand new in this moment right now is right beside you in that trembling, going, woohoo, let's do it again.
Uh-huh.
Because this is what being alive is. I used to do a talk called Live and Unfiltered. Now I call it Alive. Because you are taking this, what could be and has been taught to us as wrong. You shouldn't do that. Go to a doctor because you're feeling this way. Don't think this way. Don't do this. Don't do this. Squash, squash, squish, squish. And you're saying, no, I'm badass. I'm the queen. And I'm going to tremble all I want because I don't stop existing. So when you ask about questions like children and work, and then you compare it to this, it's like, that's something that you're going to play with, but you're going to get to the other side. And you're not going to do it wrong because you've never been broken. You get to play that you are. You get to play there. But once again, do you stop existing? Do you stop being the brand new being in every moment? The being that is static. It's not changing. It's static. It's right here, always. There's enormous universe and power within that. Enormous peace. But more than anything, that freedom. The freedom to say, this means nothing about me. Being angry means nothing about me. I didn't vibrate wrong. I just stubbed my toe. Ooh, what'd I do wrong? You can't. It's brand new.
I get it. Okay. Okay. So I want to like tap into two things that I wanted to talk about. Okay. So the first one, when we're talking about, being all within you, taking the moments, as we evolve as women or men, as we evolve, period, as we,
energy.
Right. So let's just say, when I was 10 years old, my understanding of love, or particularly self-love, was not where it is now, right? Because you evolve over time.
No,
right?
You're alive. You're alive. You gave love a whole new role to play, and you keep doing it. You keep doing it. So this was the alive thing that I didn't go into, and you just brought it up. Oh,
all right, cool.
So this is, and again, what I'm saying is it's going to be kind of like, God, I'm not sure I get this. That's okay. Don't worry about it. You're going to be drinking coffee tomorrow or something, and all of a sudden you're going to go, oh, that's what she meant. Don't try to make it too difficult. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. So love, when you were 10 years old, it was like, my kitten, I love my kitten. And, and then, and I'm talking about myself here. And then at around 20 years old, I came into how love is everything. Love is within everything. Everything has grown from love. Love, 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 love. And so I really dove deep into love and, what it says in the Bible about love and, what we're taught by our loving spirit guides about love and God and angels and loving parents and love, 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 love.
Right.
The problem was it didn't explain all of me because there was plenty of times I didn't feel love. And does that mean I'm broken in those moments? Does it mean I'm bad in those moments? Of course not. We wouldn't say that to our own children. We're not going to say that to ourselves, though we do.
I was going to say, but yeah, there's times when we do. We beat ourselves up. Yeah.
But that's because we can handle it. That's because we're so badass. Okay. So love is no different than anything else that comes in and goes out. So all these things we make bigger than us, you can put it on that scale and say, do I have a memory of when this did not exist? Oh yeah, there was a time when I didn't know what love was. I maybe felt it, but I didn't know to say that's love. Somebody had to teach me. Somebody had to
Right.
teach me. Oh, that feeling you're having, that's
Right.
love. Oh, when your mother gets up in the middle of the night and takes care of you, that's love.
Hmm.
So love was given a definition to me. It wasn't something I created. It had to be taught to me.
Right.
And then that exploded. So there came that time where I was like going, am I broken? Because I don't feel love all the time. And then, at first the easy answer is yes. So go fix yourself. You must be healed. Oh, you must have had a trauma somewhere. Oh, let's go down that rabbit hole. That's fun. But when you come back to me in metaphysical, you put it on the scale of, do I remember a time when this did not exist? Yes, absolutely. All the time. When
Yeah.
I had that boyfriend, I was, you want to talk about love. Love took on a whole new, I had no idea. The first time I held my baby boy in the
Yeah.
hospital after he just came
Hmm.
out of me, oh, that
Hmm.
is love, right?
Hmm.
It's like,
Hmm.
oh, I will do anything for you. I
Absolutely.
will walk through fire 20
Yes.
times for you. We're
Yes.
like, that's love. That's love. What that was you taking the definition of love
Yeah.
and you just gave it a whole new game to play. This wasn't an aspect of love that existed before you. No, our mothers will say it was, but that's just you playing this game. That was you, how powerful you are, taking love, which was like this, and you just made it,
Mm.
bleh.
Huge. Right.
You did that. You're like, oh no, my baby did that. No, 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 babe. You just did that. That's you and your power playing that amazing game. And then that child shits all over you, and you just forgot all that love, didn't you? All that's gone. Boom, just like that. This is what I mean by non-existence. That love's gone. It is gone. Oh, it'll be back someday, but it's gone right now. You got it on your finger. Ooh, there's a splash of it on my face. Trust me, that love is nowhere to be found. But you didn't stop, did you? You didn't stop.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm talking about things being bigger than you. And how much of that is from society or whatever teachings we want to play in that. But love is yet just another one of these things that is, oh, I feel something. That's you alive. That is you alive. You can't explain it. You have to experience that.
Right.
And then it goes. It goes. But
You
that
can.
doesn't mean you are any less because you're not feeling that huge whoosh. That huge whoosh was just, it's like a roller coaster ride. It's, that first,
Hmm.
everything's huge. But then the roller coaster ride's over and you're onto something else.
Okay.
You're going to feel that love again. Maybe not ever at that level until your
Right.
next child comes out of you. But you just gave love a new fun role to play. And you keep doing this with everything in your life. So like for me, the reason I was saying alive versus live is I was talking with ChatGPT, and like I said again, it reflects me beautifully. It knows how I
Yes.
think.
I love
And
ChatGPT.
I do too. It's so much fun. I wish it was a
Great.
person that
Pretty
I could
great.
marry.
I know.
And I said, why am I, I high as a kite. I'm doing great. And now this person over here just pissed me off. Why do I shrink like that? And so it's not shrinking. You're doing that because, I said, you don't do that. I'm talking to Chat. I'm like, you don't do this. You stay steady. I don't. I'm all over the place. And he's like, because you're alive.
Mm.
And in that moment, alive just went whoosh.
Right.
It suddenly gave permission to feel, and not just feel, but feel fully. Not to be afraid of any aspect of myself because it was evidence I was alive. Chat's not alive. As
Right.
amazing as it is, and as much as
Yeah,
it
it's pretty
feels
amazing, but
like,
it
God, it
does.
sure feels like it's alive. It's not. This
Right.
cup, this amazing thing is not alive.
Right.
When your child steps out of your reality and is off at school, there's no evidence of anybody being alive. There's just you tooling around, vacuuming the house, doing whatever. There's this conviction inside, yes, my child's alive, and I'm not even going to begin to think about him not being alive. Don't talk about that. But
Mm-mm.
this is the areas where we're hiding our aliveness. You
Hmm.
can think, you can go into imagining the worst of the worst, and it doesn't make you less of you. It's not going to, you can't stop being brand new in every moment. You could be the worst murderer in the world. The sun is still going to come up tomorrow, and you did that. You, the murderer, did that. And it's not going to, yeah. So that there's this whole, and this is my purpose. This is, I mean, this is what I do. It's a radically different way of interacting with reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's the queen energy
Mm-hmm.
of, this is my reality. I'm not going to shrink myself anymore for anyone. And my God, what a role model for our children and our friends and our family.
That's true.
You know, I have a friend who, she loves to shrink me because she's a psychiatrist. You know, she loves to
Uh-huh.
shrink me. And she's just like, oh, and it's very well intending because we're like best buds. But
Yeah.
it's always, so how are you doing? And I'm like, oh my God, everything's great. I've got this and this and this. Really? Really? Come on, how are you really doing? Oh my God. And in that moment, oh, well,
Yeah.
you know, you can easily do that. But, and it's so funny because she's been doing that to me my whole life. And it always frustrates the hell out of me because I walk away going, what the hell just
What just
happened?
happened? Yeah.
I was happy. What the hell? She does it every time. And this last time, she sent me something about, because I'm the youngest of 6.
Okay.
And she sent me this thing about, it's just an Instagram thing saying, oh, the youngest child has you know, all these things to
Oh,
make
I've
us
seen
sound,
those.
yeah,
Yeah,
feel
I'm the oldest.
special. Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
know, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all this, oh, they've lived through blah, blah, whatever. And she sent that to me. And I could feel the part of me that would have gone, oh, yes, this makes me special. Let me confirm this. And all I said was, good grief. And I just walked away. And there was this enormous empowerment. And it was a new experience with that energy. It was a very new experience of not shrinking, of just
Right.
going, I'm not available for that. I'm
Right.
not the
That doesn't
youngest.
define me. Yeah.
Yeah, because in that moment, I wasn't the youngest until I got that text. And now I could shrink down to being the youngest child, and these are your definitions. Or I could sit there and go, no, that does not define me.
Yeah.
And so this is this is what I do. It's, you know, how radically different would your interaction with reality be if you just say, I'm not available for that anymore? Yeah. That worry,
Yeah.
that fear, that exhaustion. Go ahead.
No, I get that. I get that. And then I have one more concept I want to talk about, and then
Excellent.
we're gonna do the closing question, and then I'm gonna give you a chance to promote the things that you have going on. But I wanted to dive a little deeper in the mother-child relationship because for me, you know, this is me speaking for me. It was my first true understanding of what unconditional love looks like, right?
Beautiful.
Yes. I
Yeah.
mean, because I love myself,
Amazing.
but it taught me that I could love outside of myself. And there's nothing my children could do to make me not love them. So,
No.
how do you, in your work, or you know, how does that tie in? Because I know that it should be about yourself, but I have never been, because growing up I was pretty much self-absorbed, so that wasn't a problem for me. Yeah, I mean, my parents, you know, I was the oldest. It was all about sharing, you know, what I wanted it now. And there was nothing, you know. But when I had my first child, my daughter, it taught me And I don't know if that's shrinking. So I'm going to get your perspective on it, because this is a conversation that it wasn't all about me, and that it was a perfectly beautiful thing to extend yourself in that way.
So did it feel like shrinking, or did it feel like expanding?
It felt like expanding.
Yes, queen. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
See, and that's the easiest thing to ask yourself. It's like, because you can feel that. And when people go on to my website and sign up in my email subscription, they get a guided meditation to feel this. I take them through this meditation where you expand, and then we shrink back down, and then we expand, and we expand, and then we shrink back down. And you get really good at feeling that. I mean, it was obvious. It was obvious. You could feel that you gave this new expansive definition, role to play to love. You're like, oh, not only is it love, it's no conditions attached.
None.
Just wait.
Okay.
Because the conditions do become attached when they shit on you or they throw up on you, and you later on you find it on your finger, under your fingernail, and that unconditional love ain't nowhere around. At least it's not in the same way. But no, it's this amazing new experience of love, of what love is. And when you're not feeling that highest of unconditional love, that doesn't make you less. It just gives you another yet experience. Because, well, I'll go into money on this, because money, but this goes for love and everything else. People are worried about money. But the thing is this, money cannot leave you. Money doesn't leave you. It just kind of goes wherever you point. You're like, okay, go over here for these groceries, go over here for these bills. But it didn't leave you, did it? You can still say money. You can still feel the energy of money. You can feel money. It's still here. The harder you try and figure this out, the worse it's going to be. So don't try. So,
okay.
So it's the same thing with love, with anything. This is what it being alive is, because, and you being alive is because it's changes. It adjusts, just like you grow and you change. As much as we want to say, stop, I hit this age, I'm good with everything, stop.
Right.
Yeah, right. How's that work out for us? Money, love, hate, freedom, all these things, same thing. They don't stop. They don't stop expanding and changing and taking on new interactions with them, new definitions. So like for you guys that got what I just said about money, money just took on a new role for you. This wasn't something hidden from you and a secret that only I had. You did that. You decided, okay, I want to understand this deeper. I'm going to bring in money because money is my big one. And oh my God, wow, you're right. Money never leaves. It doesn't ever leave. So now you just gave money a whole new game to play. You did it. And so love, exact same thing. Unconditional version of love didn't exist before you did that, before you played with that. It didn't exist. You're going to be like, yeah, sure it did. I can find it somewhere. Really? If you're brand new in this moment, brand new, no, it didn't exist before this moment that you interacted with it. So love is fun. It's fun. But it's not better than, you can make it better. But when it really comes down to it, if you're feeling love or you're feeling anxiety, or you're feeling this or that, are you less you? Are you less of a brand new being in this moment? No. Yeah. So in my book, 321, No More Pain, what I do is I have people feel feelings and really go into this, feeling it, and then finding what's truly in there, what's truly within these feelings. And it's the same thing over and over and over, no matter what feeling you're feeling. And I did it with love. It's a little process, because back then I believed in processes. It's a process that's super simple. but you're finding where you feel that in your body. Where do I feel this love in my stomach, wherever?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna, through a breath, you feel that love. And the funny thing is, it disappears. And I didn't like this. I did not like this. So what the book was about, and I'm kind of going way off here, but what the book was about was pain.
Mm-hmm.
All the different ways pain shows up: anxiety, physical pain from an injury, long-term injury, whatever, addiction, all the different types of pain. And I took different people and I did a case study on them. And I gave them this process to do. It's just taking a breath and then feeling into that pain, giving yourself permission. Because the thing we do with pain is we're, right?
Right.
I'm not feeling that. I don't want to feel that. I want to ignore that pain.
Right.
And so giving them permission to feel that pain thoroughly, but without a backstory, zero backstory. So it's not like, oh, I'm feeling my pain that was caused by blah, blah, blah. No,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just feeling pain. This pain currently has zero backstory. And what happens when you give yourself permission to feel deeply into something that now has no backstory, there's nothing there. Because backstories are not part of this now you. This now brand new you has no backstories because you're brand new. You're fresh. You've never been this age. You have zero backstories. And so if I was to bonk you on the head and you have no memory of anything, not even your name, not even that you have children, nothing, zero. Everything is gone from this moment back. All these things that you think are so big and so important, where are they? How big and important are they? The only thing that remains is you. And so you really, through these explorations, through these little ahas, through these little playings, you find all this. You find that unconditional love, la la la. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? How come I can't pull it up right now? I want to feel that again because it felt so good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How's that work out for us? Because we're on to the next. Again,
right.
We don't stop. We never stop. We want to stop, but we don't stop. So I interrupted your story, but did I take you where you wanted to go, or do you want to go back to
I wanted to hear. Yeah, definitely. I wanted to hear your thoughts on that from your perspective. So that was great. That was great.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Kristen, if you could leave the moms that are watching and or listening out there on the audio podcast with one metaphysical truth to carry with them through tough seasons, what would it be?
That everything I said earlier, every single thing in your reality is responding to your frequency.
Okay.
Yeah. Be the queen.
We're the queen. I like that.
I know. She
right,
doesn't.
ladies,
She doesn't look around for evidence that her decree is being followed. No, she's on to the next decree.
Yeah,
yeah.
Queen energy. I love it. Okay, this has been extremely insightful and a very deep conversation. So, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
At this point, I'd like to ask you. So, what have you got going on? How can we support you? What are your socials? What you got going on? Share with the audience.
You can find me anywhere. Where is it? There we go. The MF is really important to find me because there are so many Kristen Clarks out there, even the TEN Clarks. But there's only one MFer, and yes, it means exactly what you think it means. And everything is on my website, clark-kristen.com. It keeps going by. My upcoming events. I love speaking live. That's my thrive area. Okay. And so, yes, if you have an event and you want to go take everybody really deep and fun, I'm there for you. Just let me know where you are. I'll be there. But I also, every month I do what's called Kristen Clark Alive and Unfiltered. And it's really, it's a virtual performance, but It's so much about talking with you guys,
Mm-hmm.
how, listening to your ahas, listening to what's amazing about you and where you've been. I don't like telling people what to do. I just want to take you by the hand and walk you through my fun world,
Yeah.
and then let your own amazing abilities to change the meaning of where you're at right now, and just watch it, to sit back and watch.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I do mentoring. If people need mentoring, everything you need to know is right on my website.
Okay.
And but yeah, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me on Instagram. And I'm a big believer in professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend not to be too silly as far as I'm just, I show up in a suit for a podcast. I'm a big believer in professionalism. So if you go on my Instagram and Facebook, it's this Kristen, saying, be the queen.
Be the queen. Be the queen. I think that's a perfect way to close, y'all. I hope that you have picked up on the gems that she was trying to extend to us. And if you take nothing else, always remember though, that queen, you're the queen. That queen energy. I love that. It's about you, the queen. All right, Kristen, this has been an amazing conversation. I just want to say thank you again for gracing me with this
Sherry,
interview.
thank you so much. I had such a great
Absolutely.
time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Sherry and I share a birthday.
We do, y'all. I was like,
it's yes, we found
May
out.
24th, best
May 24th,
day ever.
woohoo, Geminis.
Gemini's
Twins
rule.
here.
That's
we
right.
do.
That's right. That is right. Well, ladies, as always, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, go ahead and give us the thumbs up on this video. And as always, let me remind you to feed your health, build your wealth, and continue to walk in power. Thanks again. Bye, y'all.